Reddit. What secret are you taking to the grave? NSFW. The first person I ever fapped to was Wanda from the Fairly Odd Parents. A friend had an abortion before her marriage. Her husband doesn't know. It was his kid. She swore me to secrecy. I will never tell. Me and my wife were going through tough times. I just got back from Afghanistan. I played Russian roulette with my 357 Magnum. 3 loaded. I lost. Getting a divorce now and alive. When my cousin died a few years ago, my family went over to his house to look around for a sense of closure. I ducked away for a bit and noticed his computer was still on. On his desktop was his porn folder. I deleted it before my aunt and uncle saw it. Edit. A word. My dad's a National Socialist and he regularly goes to meetings. I was raised on Germanic folklore and the idea that I'm superior to others because I'm of German descent. I have plenty of Jewish and slavish friends and I just tell them my dad died when I was younger. TL. My dad's a Nazi. Edit. Wow. Gold because my dad's a Nazi? My mother killed my father when I was 8 years old. With a shotgun blast to the face. He bled out through what was left of his head into my lap. Blood has a smell, a stink. When there's enough of it around. She got off. Because it was a self-defense situation. She sent me to school the next day, and ever since I've pretended that I'm a well-adjusted, stable person. I'm not. When we were kids, a female cousin and I played doctor around the age of 6 or 7. Talked about it a few years ago around the age of 25. Became deeply intimate and have had really incredible sex several times over the last few years. She recently got married and we have since ended our relationship. We are both normal, successful, contributing citizens. You'd never know. Hopefully no one finds out. But I miss her and our level of intimacy. In 7th grade, Joe thought Brandon put the lime salt on his brownie, but it was actually me. That when my ex called me to look at something weird in the toilet, it was actually a really early miscarriage and not just really weird period stuff, because it would have mentally broken a girl that was already unstable. But I'm dying inside. One night I woke up with my mind in a twist. My mom was in the hospital at the time. I had a crazy urge to call them and check on her. But I reasoned not to because I couldn't think of an excuse, so I fell back to sleep. 5 AM I get a call that they checked on her and she didn't have a pulse. I just think there was something I could have done that destroys me to even think about it. I went to counseling for abuse after my parents divorced. And I was never abused, so they put me in the regular room with all the people there who were waiting for their siblings. I claimed my father abused me so I could go to the special room with all the abused kids. It was horrible. I had no right being in that room with all those people. They all were really messed up from what their parents had done to them. And I just got in so I could play Yu-Gi-Oh! Edit. I was probably 7 or 8. And for what I know, my father did not get in trouble. I see him every week. I didn't know what I was doing back then. In 3rd grade, I cheated on my history exam. In 4th grade, I stole my Uncle Max's toupee and I glued it on my face when I was Moses in my Hebrew school play. In 5th grade, I knocked my sister Edie down the stairs and I blamed it on the dog. When my mom sent me to the summer camp for fat kids and then they served lunch, I got nuts and I pigged out and they kicked me out. But the worst thing I ever done, I mixed a pot of fake puke at home and then I went to this movie theater, hid the puke in my jacket, climbed up to the balcony and then I made a noise like this, hua 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 hua, and then I dumped it over the side, all over the people in the audience. And then, this was horrible. All the people started getting sick and throwing up all over each other. I never felt so bad in my entire life. Might as well get this off of my chest. Without going into great detail, purposely vague. More than 5 years ago I was a part of a group of 3-5 people that would successfully take the MCAT in place of others for a fee. We were all adept at taking the exam. Our clients were old money types with kids who could not make the cut, or didn't want to try. The fee was $100 K plus any other extra charges. Fake fingerprints, IDs, prosthetics, you name it, and we did it. I had no qualms doing this as my reasoning was if they can't pass the exam, How in the duck would they get through med school plus steps? Take their money and let them fail out of med. No problems until one of the clients actually managed to get through school and had racked up some malpractice. Thankfully nothing too serious. It hit me hard to the point of attempted suicide. I quit and went to therapy and the group disbanded, for other reasons, shortly thereafter. I'm doing much better now. But this info is staying with me from people that I know, and staying with you. Random reader. This is ducked up and definitely a secret I am taking to my grave. Back when I was 13 I had discovered masturbation. And the closest thing I could fap into was my mom's panties. I used to steal her panties. Lick them. Sniff them. Wear them around the house under my pants. I would come on command while talking to her while trying to keep a straight face. It was weird. And exciting. Well into my teenager years. Whenever my friends would invite me over, I used to sneak into their parents' room, and the sister's room or their own room and steal their panties. I would wear their panties and do the same. Talk to them while coming with a straight face. They had no idea, I hope. It was also exciting to me. And it's ducked up as well. Thongs, G-strings, boy shorts and normal granny panties. I've accumulated all over the years and had close to 200 pairs. A few years ago I got serious with a girl. I fapped in her mom's panties as well, and moved in with her. I had to dispose my precious panty collection. So I did with sadness. Now I work in a job where I take care of people's luggages. Sometimes I go into female luggage and steal their panties. Fap in them and return them in their luggage. Call me sick. I know it's ducked up. But it's a secret I'm taking to my grave. Outsiders won't understand. I was giving my cat a belly rub and it jizzed all over my hand. Bacon is always the first food to be cooked by my father in the mornings. As a child, I would steal myself an extra piece and blame it on my little brother. Hence, I'd get a total of 3 pieces, and Browski would only get 1. Looking back, the oldest kid gets away with so much it. I worked for a shipping company at a customer desk. A guy I had known came in to ship a package. He was a known drug dealer in my town. He didn't recognize me. The package was wrapped in duct tape. I took the package, brought it out back and made it disappear into my backpack. After my shift I opened the package and found $37,890 in cash. I never went back to the job and never heard anything about it. I left Texas a month later with cash in hand. I threw rocks at the school with one of my best mates and some other student tattled on us. Basically we both got the paddle. Basically they smack your bum. And they sent a letter home to my dad. My dad received the letter and I lied to him and said I never threw the rocks. My dad, bless his heart, believed me and took it to our school principal and convinced him that I wouldn't lie about such things. Since the principal wanted to rectify it for my dad's sake, he offered me a free voucher for an ice cream as an apology. It's 15 years down the track now, and I still feel really bad for it. I feel like if I told my dad now it would break his heart. Me and my girlfriend were playing Monopoly and she was so concentrated on the game, on the dice, on her properties. She was just so engrossed in the board that I was constantly taking money out of the bank and keeping it. I feel terrible about it because she was just so adorable trying to play the game and concentrate on trying to win. I absolutely annihilated her because I had so much money. She wasn't a sore loser about it. When we were done playing and it was obvious I had won, she just kind of sighed and we watched a movie. The whole time I couldn't stop thinking about how absolutely adorable she looked while trying to concentrate and play. The way she looked at the money she had, and the properties she bought, like she was so proud of them. And I took advantage of that and stole money to win. I learned that from now on winning doesn't matter. I need to focus on having fun with her. But I will take this to the grave because if she ever finds out she'll be talking it like nobody's business. Yesterday I responded to a car accident. I literally watched a girl I was in high school with die. She was screaming and begging to live. And then she wasn't. It wasn't surreal. Or like Hollywood. If one more person asks me if it was like the movies, I'm gonna punch them the duck out. I've seen my fair share of bad accidents. And have never really been bothered by death. My first call was a really bad accident. Only thing I was worried about was getting dinner. Duck, I slept like a baby last night and didn't think twice about it. I am more pissed that a young girl died with her whole life ahead of her all because she wasn't ducking, paying attention to where she was going. People, pay the duck attention when you're driving. When you get yourself killed it may end for you, but not for everyone else. That text message is not worth it. It's not worth it. What no one knows is that I came dangerously close to crying my ducking eyes out over it. This girl was literally one of the nicest girls I've known in my life. I was bullied in 9th grade, and she was one of the few cool kids that actually treated me kindly. I didn't know her well, but I'm sure as hell pissed that she had to die yesterday. I lost my virginity to a prostitute. I once put a bottle in my butt to poop into it. I was in kindergarten, probably 5 years old, and during sleeping time I asked a girl to show me her D. When I was 16 I was in a relationship with a man older than my father. I'm getting married soon, and he still mopes around and says how much he loves me and will never find someone like me. It's annoying, but also makes me feel guilty as hell. My parents took me to get my hearing checked when I was 12 because I wasn't responding when they called my name. I pretended not to hear some of the beeps in the hearing aid test room. As a result, I wore a hearing aid for 2 years when I was 12-14 years old. I don't know why I did that. In 5th grade I cheated on an exam. My buddy and I were the only 2 people in the grade who got this particular question correct, but I copied him. The worst part was he was considered dumb while I was at the top of the class. So the teacher was convinced that he copied me and he ended up getting suspended. Long story short, I was too pussy to admit that I was the one who cheated, as my parents would have murdered me if I failed the test, and even worse if I got suspended. My sister and I were on holiday together recently and very drunk one night when we got back from the bar. Naturally we started drinking more because we were on holiday. She has the ice cube tray in her hand, opens the window simultaneously and loses her focus and drops the tray 5 floors to the street, hitting a big guy square in the dome. He looks up and started screaming and shouting in Italian. I live in Rome, so I understood he was calling us some bad names. We just closed the window and continued drinking while we could hear this man shouting he was going to come up there and rip our heads off. Please never find me MR scary Italian man. That I'm actually his father. The secret formula for the Krabby Patty. What I masturbate to. It's not cheese pizzas. Broke into a church. Door to the children's daycare thing was open. Then took a tiny kid's chair. Not as huge as the other secrets here, but about 6 or 7 years ago I created a video together with my former boss. He was really passionate about it. After we put it up on YouTube I commented awesome with my private account from home. The next day he was really excited about this comment. Didn't know it was me and I'm going to keep it a secret. It is the only comment this video ever got, at least the last time I saw it. Edit. I don't have the YT link anymore, but it's on the website. It's nothing big. It's actually something really small and innocent, and I've just decided to tell no one. I roll. When I was 5 years old, a friend at primary school, whose name is Jay, told me he liked a girl called A and asked me never to tell anyone. I never have and I never will. Almost 30 years and I haven't told anyone. Over the years I've thought about saying something to someone about it, but I've never been able to bring myself to do it. Just something about the innocence of that promise, I guess. He wouldn't even care now. But 5-year-old Jay would, and I don't want to break my promise to him. Edit. NZs don't do too well with compliments. But for what it's worth, thank you. My freshman year of college I was really hungover one morning and I was back at my parents' house for the rest of the weekend. I was wearing loose-fitting athletic shorts with no underwear, and kind of rocking back and forth in front of the TV to feel that satisfying slap. Any dude knows what I'm talking about. Well, I went to fart, but instead a stream of diarrhea squirted out just at the right moment and completely missed my shorts but got all over the carpet. I went to the bathroom to grab some TP, and by the time I got back to the living room my dad was on his hands and knees cleaning it up and yelling at my dog. I've never had the heart to tell him it was my accident. TL. Doctor, I shat the carpet but let my dog take the blame while my dad cleaned it up. Paul Blart, Mall Cop isn't my favorite movie. In this case it isn't taking to the grave, is it? I stole my little cousin's Charizard to complete my starter Pokemon set. I was 10 and he was 8. Till this day he doesn't know. I had sex with our dog when I was 11-13. Edit. I went to bed thinking, hoping this would not make it this high up. I'll keep answering any questions you have as honestly as I can. Edit 2. I'm not getting this Colby reference from half of you. When I was 13 I was told that my great grandparents were going to move to Texas and start their journey to heaven. I was crushed. I would spend every day with them up until they moved in May of 2009. Before they moved, I took a shoebox and decorated it with a picture of them and angel wings. I took my GG's favorite shirt, my Pop-Up's favorite button up, printed their favorite things, and stashed them away in the box. They would search for the shirt and assume they packed it away. 1 month later my Pop-Up passed away. Then my GG passed a week after him. I was crushed. I never told anyone but my current boyfriend about the box and most likely never will because I'm selfish. I've only opened it up 3 times in the past 6 years. I swear the shirts still smell like them.